Good morning students, how are you? We are back again. You have already received messages regarding the online classes which have already started. In this particular week, we are going to concentrate on the revision of taught chapters. So, I am going to concentrate on chapter number 1 from history as well as chapter number 1 from geography in this video. I am going to highlight only the key points as I have explained the main points in detail in my videos. So children, after watching the video, please do comment because your comment is considered as your presence. Okay, let's move on to the chapters. Today we will see the recapitulation of taught chapters. First chapter from history, how, when and where. We have already studied about this. The first topic we studied is how important are dates. So wherein we have studied history is synonymous with dates. That means history means dates, dates means history. That is the first impression that comes to our mind. So when we ask about the question, what is history? History is nothing but dates. So they are synonymous. There are certain events like birth, death, war, succession. Succession means after the death of a particular king, who succeeds him as a next king or a queen. That is called succession, which can be dated. Easily we can say so and so a particular year that particular king took his birth or the child birth, then afterwards his childhood, then the year he succeeded as a king to the throne, the year in which he died. So we can all these information can be easily dated. Now the next question is which dates? Dates become important when we focus on particular events. So particular events that only become important. All the dates are not important for us. Even for us also, some important dates are there in our life, like our birthday, isn't it? That becomes very important date for us. And anniversary, maybe your parents' anniversary, that becomes important date for them. So when we focus on particular event and that date becomes important. Then the next question is how do we periodize? James Mill divided Indian history into three parts, that is Hindu, Muslim and British. We have already studied about this. Next one, what is colonial? Already I said that British made India as their colony, one of the colony. So the British came to the country to conquer the country, कब्जा करने के लिए, and establish their rule, subjugating the local Nawabs and Rajas. Before independence, the whole India was divided into various kingdoms and ruled by either the Nawabs or the Rajas, princes, etc. And the British came to India with an intention that to make India as their colony, okay, all administration under their control, and all these Nawabs or the Rajas subjugating them or the Bake are under their control as a puppet. How do we know about the British administration, about the colonial rule? How do we know? So one thing that we come to know through is administration. So how? Because the administration produce records. Through the act of writing, every instruction, plan, agreement, decision had clearly written and up with which could be studied and debated. The British, they followed a good thing that all the act, everything they maintained clearly. So all the decision, it may be act, agreement, everything, it was recorded properly in the form of a written form, so that it could be studied or it could be deleted, or it could be debated later. Then record rooms were attached to all administrative institutions. So record rooms specially were attached, wherein they used to preserve all these records. Then another one is the surveys. Survey, we have already discussed in detail about this. It becomes important. The British believed that a country had to be properly known before it could be effectively administered. So first of all, that is taking overall the survey. So view, we can say, first of all studying. So for example, if we are going to purchase the vegetables from the vegetable market, then what the people are doing, first of all they are taking a full survey. What are all the things are there, isn't it? And which item is sold at what rate. And after seeing all these things, then they come and purchase from a particular vendor. So this is about the survey. And the same thing is that the British conducted survey and they believed that a country had to be properly known before it should be effectively administered. If there is India, then what part of our, where in the Indian part, what are the things are available, how much it is covered with the forest, and how many rulers are ruling, all these things, and what is the population, and out of which how many are literate. So these are all the considered as the survey. Thus began the practice of census, conducting once in 10 years, that is taking the count of people. So I can say संख्या और जन को संख्या, जनगणति बोलते हैं इसको. And the next topic is what official record do not tell. There are so many things wherein we cannot get any information from the official record. That information can be obtained through the diaries of the people. Those they have written diary, and then accounts of pilgrims like Chinese pilgrims and others, they visited India and they left a detailed account wherein we come to know about the India. And the travelers, autobiographies of some important personalities, etc. So this is all about the chapter what we have studied, that is related to chapter 1, history. Now let's move on to geography, chapter number 1, resource. I'm doing it, it's just a brush up that you have already studied in detail. If you have any doubt, you can go through my videos again. Okay, let's move on to geography, chapter number 1, resources. So first of all, what is the meaning of the term resources? Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. For example, now I am as the summer season is going on, I am very much thirsty. That is, I am very much thirst and I am looking after some water. So water is my resource. Okay. Now the characteristics. What are the characteristics? Utility makes an object a resource. So utility, it makes an object a resource. As I told you that water, it works as a utility in order to satisfy my thirsty. Then resources have value. All the resources, whether it is natural resources or human resources or human made resources, all have value. They have their own value. Okay, now you can see that during this corona, or I can say pandemic, the value of that masks that have increased like anything, sanitizers increased like anything. isn't it? So that is the utility value. Earlier, if the mass, if it is available, then also it was, people were not aware about its usefulness and all, and it doesn't have any value except for the doctors, yeah, isn't it? Now it's not like that. Even for a common man, that mask is a basic utility, or it is a requirement, and its value has increased like anything. You can now see that it is available in so much, or I can say in many variety forms. So that is, a resource have value. Some resources become valuable with time. So as I told you, that solar energy, so earlier it was available, and it is available, and it is going to be available in future too. But in olden days, people were not aware about the value of solar energy. They were not aware that this solar energy can be diverted to generate electricity or any other thing. So with the time, with the passage of time, with the technologies, with the research, they come to know the utility or the usefulness of this resource. So the resources become valuable with time. Now people themselves are the most important resources. That's why people are considered as human resource. Human resource person. Sometime you might have seen that who is conducting a seminar, who is the resource person, because he is going to give all the information to the people. So people, they have their brains, they have their skill, they have their ability, and thereby they are converting it into, or I can say, important human resource. So for example, what the update versions we are seeing in the Facebook, Instagram, or in the WhatsApp, etc. So every now and then you can see the updated version. So because of the brain or the technology of a particular person, or from of the human being, so it's a resource. And earlier there were no people are not aware about the construction of so-called bridges mainly, and when the technology is improved, people come to know how to, or I can say, construct the bridges or the buildings or the multi-floor buildings, etc. And that is why it's considered that human himself is a important resource. Now the types of resources we have studied, they may be natural resources. Everywhere we could see that natural resources like air we breathe, the water we drink, and the earth, everything, it is considered as the forest cover. Everything is a natural resource, is a gift from nature. Then human made resources, as I told you, buildings, it may be flats, it may be bridges, or it may be roads, or anything, computer, technology, invention, everything, it is human made resources. And the third one is human resources, that the people, they themselves. Then we will see one by one. First of all, natural resources. As I told you, resources drawn from nature and used without modification, as it is we are using it. It is called as natural resources. Yes, first of all, the best example we can say is about air. We are, or I can say, breathing the air. We are consuming, we are taking it as and when as it is available. If it is a polluted air, that also we cannot, or I can say, modify it by taking only the proper one, pure one. We are not doing. Whereas water, maybe sometime we are using that RO or other technology to purify it. But with air, we are not. We are consuming as in how we are receiving. Then soil, yes, soil also, it is naturally available. By only we can convert it by adding the fertility. We can increase the fertility of the land, but the soil we are receiving as it is. Then the these natural resources are classified on the basis of the level of development and use. They are on the basis of level of development and use. Again, there is bifurcation, two division, that is actual resources and potential resources. We have studied this in detail. Then the origin, again there biotic and biotic. Then stock, renewable and non-renewable, and distribution, ubiquitous, that means that can be spread all over, just like air, it is ubiquitous, land ubiquitous, water, and localized, it's available only to that particular area only. Second one, the human made resources, just like as the original form of natural substances has been changed to make them resource. For example, technology. So it is available in the original form and we are converting by using the technology. We are converting, say for example, the soil, there we are putting some metal rods and cement and then sand, and by adding the mixture of that we are constructing it into the roads. That is what is required for that. Technology is required for that. So that is called human made resources. Then the third one is the human resources. Human resources is also, one is number. Number is important. That is quantity. Therein again ability, you have physical and mental of the people. Mentally if you are and physically fit, then only that can be considered as a resource most of the time, and exceptional cases may be there. Then education and health help in making people are valuable resources. So everywhere what is required, education is required. Only with the education and only with the proper education and guidance you can convert, you can do wonderful in the field of technology. Then the important point is conserving resources, using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. That is important. We should not use it recklessly. Okay. Then the important of 3 R's, that is reusing, reducing and recycling. Then sustainable development. Development is there. It should be sustainable. एक जैसा होना चाहिए. Then balancing the need to use resources and also conserve them for the future. So we have to, that is why you have been told to switch off the electricity when it is not in use, or to use or minimize the use of water, etc. Then the last one is the principles of sustainable development. Hope you have all by hearted or learned this answer as well. They are respect and care for all forms of life, improve the quality of human life, minimize the depletion of natural resources, change attitude towards environment, and enable communities to take care of their own environment. So these are all the principles of sustainable development. I am not explaining it in detail. The reason is that I have already explained it in my previous video. So children, this is all about the synopsis of, you can say, the taught chapters. Already you have studied about this. Okay. With regard to in the next period I am going to explain it, the other 2 chapters remaining. Till then, take care. Bye bye.